Hi, this is Joe from Create & Craft, and I wanted to share with you a collaged frame I made using handmade decorative papers. Here you can see the finished product. It's basically a plain frame that I then collaged with some handmade papers, even some tissue paper from the wrapping from a toilet paper roll. Then I overpainted on it, I stamped it, and I added some 3D embellishments made with creative paperclay. So if we take a look at some of the steps that were used to make this, there's that unfinished frame. I just picked that up at a local craft shop. And then I used paperclay to make the embellishments. For the cattails, the paperclay is wrapped around pieces of a coat hanger, and I put a piece of it down at the bottom to form a base, kind of a rock. And here it is drying using some dominoes to support it. And then for the dragonfly embellishment, I wrapped the paperclay around a rubber stamp from Viva Las Vegastamps. And that really is a cool technique because it allows you to make embellishments that will perfectly match your rubber stamps. So there's a quick comparison here to show you the original dragonfly stamp and all the detail that's in it, then paperclay used inside the mold, and then when that casting is done, the finished product, and you can see all the detail there in that casting of the dragonfly. Here are all the pieces that I made out of paperclay: the leaves for the cattails themselves, the dragonfly, and the rock. I painted all the pieces, and for the leaves and the dragonfly I used Memories Mist, and it just produced a wonderful deep rich color. For the cattails and the rock, I used acrylics from USArtQuest, and then to give the cattails some texture, when I was done, I added some brown flocking. And it's just amazing the difference between the plain cattail and then the cattail with the flocking. I wanted to get an idea of how the handmade papers were going to look in the finished product, so I laid them out on top of the frame and just kind of the order that I thought they would go. And then I flipped the whole thing over on a cookie sheet. And that sort of gave me an arrangement of all the papers, and it let me work from the top down to the bottom and sort of keep in mind exactly what papers I wanted to put where. So laid out on the cookie sheet, it was easy then to pull them over to the frame. Before I did that though, I wanted to give the frame a nice base coat, and again I used USArtQuest acrylics to sort of give me a foundation here, just in case anything showed through in gaps between the handmade papers. Then little by little, using perfect paper adhesive, I started at the top of the frame and worked my way down to the bottom, adding layer upon layer of decorative handmade papers. Some of them down at the bottom are Japanese handmade papers, and then the light blue at the top I made using an Arnold Grummer paper making kit. I wanted to add some grass to my scene, and we were at a hotel once and saw the wrapper for the toilet tissue, and it had grass all over it, and we actually saved it because it was a thin tissue. It's perfect for paper collage. So whether you find napkins or any other packaging, if it's thin, it works great for collage. Here it gave me some great pieces of grass. After everything was all collaged, I kind of took a step back and decided if I wanted to add anything, and I decided to overpaint the grass a little bit with some wonderful metallic paint, and I used the same paint to just touch the top of the dragonfly to give that some highlights. I ended up collaging the little rock too, so that it would fit better with the bottom scheme here of the piece. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think the overall look is great. You can see the little tiny dragonfly stamps, again overpainted with a little bit of bright metallic paint. The same with the grasses. It really helps them blend into the overall piece. And the rock, I think, blends in really well. The cattails look fairly realistic. I mean, they look great, made out of coat hangers and creative paperclay, as does the rock. And the dragonfly has some great details. I love how much detail came out in that casting, and then how it looks when it's overpainted on top of just, the solid green dragonfly. I think my favorite piece of the whole project, or my favorite area is that bottom portion. I think the little scene came out great. I love all the colors and textures that the handmade paper gave me, and it was so easy to collage using perfect paper adhesive from USArtQuest. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and I hope you give some of these products a try in your own crafts. They're super easy to use. They were just great. So for more project information, ideas, and supplies, please visit our website, www.createandcraft.com.